Okay, thank you, Doctor, for coming to our show once again.
It is my pleasure to be here.
We're happy to have you in our McCOYS studios in 2018. We're always delighted to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks much. So now 2018, speaking of 2018 has come. And this is the year the politicians have been waiting for to start their campaigns towards the 2019 elections, presidential, gubernatorial, senatorial, and all of them. So there are going to be issues that we will be looking at, Nigerians will be looking at, that is the electorate will be looking at, the kinds of issues that will be on the table. We'll be looking at who the possible gladiators are going to be. And so I like to call this discussion looking at the real issues and the real McCOYS for 2019. So who are going to be the real McCOYs? What are going to be the issues? But to get started, I'm thinking, so let's start with the issues. Let's try to look at what are the key issues that the electorate will be looking at, looking towards 2019.
Looking at the issues that are unfolding in 2018 as a preparation towards 2019 general election, before we talk about the real McCOYs, the political gladiators, and who are those people that are actually wielding a very serious influence as far as 2019 election is concerned. As I've rightly said, we need to look at the issues.
Yes.
When you look at all these issues that played up in 2015 general elections, most of those issues are still on ground. Most of those issues have not been taken care of, and it's the same issues that will be used by the political.
What are those issues?
I'm going to mention them.
Okay.
If you could recall, before 2015 general election, there are issues of insecurity, the demonic Boko Haram insurgency, particularly in the northeastern part of the country, and occasionally in some other part of the country, Kano, Abuja, and Adamawa and Co.
Yeah.
So when you look at all these issues of insecurity, I can tell you that in spite of the fact that the current administration has done reasonably well in tackling Boko Haram insurgency, the solution to Boko Haram insurgency had actually led to some other petty insecurity issues like Fulani S-men attack, kidnapping that is being known everywhere, even armed robbery. All these have become very notorious during this administration, and I must tell you that it's one of the issues that is threatening the national security in this country. So the issue of security has not been totally resolved. Then economy. You could recall that our economy was in total shambles before the advent of this administration. The same story is still repeating itself up to now. Not much has been done in reviving our economy since 2015. Going into the 3 years of this administration, our economy is still in total quagmire. Foreign exchange is still very embarrassing, and the economy downturn had actually led to hardship, exacerbating poverty, and uncertainties.
Basically, Doctor, are you just looking at President Buhari's agenda? Because it looks like what you just mentioned now were at least two of the main items that he had on his plate, where he said he was going to be tackling corruption. You didn't mention that one yet.
I've not mentioned that one. I take it one after the other.
Absolutely. He was going to be tackling insecurity and then the economy. But as far as the economy is concerned, you mentioned foreign exchange, the reserves. But our reserve level now is much better than we've had in a long time. So improvements have happened, courtesy, of course, of some of the efforts of the central bank, and then with oil prices rising. So in a way, maybe this administration can say that we had an economy that was going downhill, and they've been able to lift it a little bit.
But that has not translated into the reality in our society.
Okay, which is why
you and I can actually testify to the fact that there is a very serious hunger in the society. We have hardship everywhere in the nook and cranny of this country, and there is also what I called high rate of unemployment, and that is what actually begets exacerbating poverty. So when you look at all these indices, you need to also go back to the economy. That something is terribly wrong.
So what you're looking at the real practical things,
yes,
like unemployment and poverty,
yes,
and you're right. We still have problems,
yes,
in those areas.
Yes.
So this would be key areas that people will be looking at.
Exactly.
That what do we do with unemployment, which is probably the most serious.
Exactly.
Because we've got these young people pouring from universities, from high schools and institutions, and not going anywhere. As far as the labor market is concerned. So that is a serious problem. Okay, so then what about corruption?
Yes, on the area of corruption, I can tell you that
has the president not done well in
a lot has been done in tackling corruption in Nigeria, for the fact that the society today is being cautious of having anything to do with corruption, even though we still need to do more, because corruption has established itself firmly, is deep-rooted in Nigerian society. So it takes a lot of commitment and political will to stampede corruption and fight corruption to stand still. But I can tell you that many Nigerians today have been very cautious. That does not mean that there is no corruption in this administration. There's what I called underground or underneath corruption. But that is still better.
In other words, you're
society.
trying to say now that we don't have impunity.
Yes.
Because there was said to be impunity.
Exactly. Corruption with impunity in the previous administration.
Are you saying that there's no impunity now, but there's corruption? Or is there still impunity?
The level of impunity has reduced drastically in this administration.
So that said, who are the real McCOYs? Who are the real candidates that can talk on these issues? Who are the people looking towards? Who are the credible, real presidential candidates that will emerge in your mind? I know many of them have not come out publicly.
Exactly.
But who are the ones that people
I think
are
we need to
at?
Categorize them into two.
Okay.
There are some that they've expressed their interest on presidential race, and there are some that only their body language actually speaking loudly for them.
But I'm talking about the ones that people want. The ones
yes,
that people
no.
are looking
That's why I'm saying that we are going to look at it from two perspectives.
Okay.
The very first perspective, just like I said earlier on, is those who have signified the intention to contest. They made themselves available.
Yes.
While others have not done that, but their body language are actually speaking for them.
Sure.
On my list, I have Tunde Bakari as one of those who had actually signified his intention. He said God has spoken to him to be the president of Nigeria in 2019. Tunde Bakari is a renowned pastor from Lagos.
Did he say that God would say he will win, or that they told him to be a candidate?
So, whichever way they put it. All he said was that the God spoken to him to contest for presidential race come 2019.
Did God tell him he will win? Because it's good to know.
I think you need to bring Tunde Bakari to this show so that you come and tell more about his presidential ambition.
Yes.
So, as a renowned pastor, he also has a certain influence among the Christian kingdom. And at the same time, he was one time a running mate to Buhari in 2011 election. Absolutely. So he has something to offer. Then we are also known that Ayodele Fayose, the incumbent governor of Ekiti State, has also signified his intention to contest. Then we have Sule Lamido, the former governor of Jigawa State. Then we have one Professor Olufunmilayo Davis from, she's a professor of language and communication arts from Rivers State University. And with all this, you could see that these are the candidates that have declared their presidential ambition so far. However, when you look at all these candidates, having examined them critically, and if I want to feel the pulse of Nigerians, I can select three major candidates that people are seen as McCOYs. The candidates that have what it takes, that are very presidential in nature. I can actually pick three of them. I may be wrong, and that's my opinion.
We want to see it. We want to hear them.
So let me start from the list.
Only three?
Yes, I'm selecting three.
My goodness.
Yes, I'm selecting three.
You think one of these three will be president? Should we write this down?
No. Don't quote me on that. It's just a mere analysis. And I'm going to give you the indices of what can make them to be. Although there is divergent opinions on that. I can't rule out such different opinions.
Okay.
The first person I'm going to mention.
Yes.